We are now just 144 days away from the official release of Star Wars The Rise of Skywalker by writer and director J.J. Abrams and creator George Lucas, that is all set and ready to end the sequel trilogy and the Skywalker saga. This is Mike Zero. Make sure to subscribe if you're new to the channel for future Star Wars content. So what's really exciting about Episode 9 is that we do know that this film is going to be used as a foundation to create new Star Wars lore, as well as filling in the gaps in between the originals and the sequel trilogy that's really going to take fans by surprise. And I think that's one of the more exciting elements of this film, is that we will be learning more about that big time jump in between Episodes 6 and 7, and exactly what all happened in between. Now, these past couple of weeks or so, we've been learning a whole lot more about this film, and when it all comes down to one of the concept art descriptions, this is where things begin to get very exciting for Episode 9. Now, specifically, what's really intriguing about all of this is that a description of both Rey and Kylo Ren holding hands, where it's described that they are surrounded in darkness, where one of their Force bonds are actually said to be taking place, and while Kylo and Rey are also using a new Force ability. It's described that as Rey holds the Skywalker lightsaber, she begins to hear and see visions of the past, as well as thoughts from Luke Skywalker's past during his time with the saber. It's said that one of the scenes shows Rey and Kylo passing a cloaked Luke Skywalker figure next to a woman in a beige dress, looking out to a ship taking off from the desert world of Tatooine. Now, it's said that Luke has a hood over his head during the sequence, and that it's unclear if these thoughts of Luke and his wife that are visually seen to Rey simply mean that Luke had a wife or dreamed of having one at one point in time in the past. However, the actress who portrayed the character of Luke's wife in the very brief scene involved a costume design where it was dubbed as Luke's spouse. Additionally, it's said that one of the scenes between both Rey and Luke's Force Ghost involves a moment where she holds Luke's iconic green saber that is handed by Luke for a training session, where as she holds it, she explains to Luke that she sees parts of his past and thoughts that are attached to the saber, one of which involves a woman where the voices can be heard in the background during her training session with Luke's Force Ghost. So let's go over a couple of parts about this, because these are big hints and or indicators of Luke's wife actually being in the film and actually having some form of explanation in The Rise of Skywalker. Now, a lot of fans have always been wondering about what in the world happened to Luke in between Episodes 6 and 7. We do know that he went on thousands upon thousands of missions with R2-D2, which really do hold the potential to create new live-action TV series on Disney+. But anyways, moving on, what's really exciting about this is that one of the major scenes that were filmed involved a sequence where both Daisy Ridley and Adam Driver were portraying the characters of Rey and Kylo Ren using a new Force ability that seems like it's going to be a different form of flow walking, or something very similar, I must add, to that of the Worlds Between Worlds in Rebels Season 4. So in this particular scenario, one of the scenes that were filmed involved an actress that portrayed this female character for a very, very brief scene where the costume design was dubbed as Luke's spouse. Now, in The Last Jedi novelization, we did in fact learn about Luke Skywalker's wife. Now, that actually turned out to be Luke dreaming of a wife at one point in time in his past during his time on Ahch-To. That was the opening of The Last Jedi novelization. So it could very well be that being expanded in Episode 9, or there could be a bigger truth to all of this that's going to be explained in The Rise of Skywalker. Now, what I like about all of this, and on top of all of this involving both Rey and Kylo Ren holding hands and going through this Worlds Between Worlds-like experience, where they do see the thoughts and or visuals of Luke Skywalker's past and thoughts that are attached to the Skywalker saber. It also goes over to a sequence in which the Force Ghost of Luke Skywalker is training Rey, where Luke is said to eventually hand her his iconic green lightsaber, where she holds it during a meditation session and begins to tap into the thoughts and the energy that's actually attached to that saber, where she does indeed begin to hear and see a female figure from the past that is attached to Luke Skywalker's past life. So that's very interesting for sure, because we do know that J.J. Abrams is really trying to add in a lot of surprises to this film that's really going to change our view of The Last Jedi, The Force Awakens, and even the original trilogy. We also know that The Last Jedi, itself, the novelization, explains a lot more about this, but the Rise of Skywalker novelization is also said to be a film that goes in greater depth. It's going to expand the actual movie itself and what's going to be explained in the actual movie by J.J. Abrams and what happens in between. So this particular scenario, like I say, it's very intriguing indeed. The biggest hint by far of Luke's wife being in The Rise of Skywalker, specifically since one of the costume designs that were used for this unnamed actress for a very brief scene, we're talking less than a minute here, where it was actually dubbed as Luke's spouse on the set over at Cardington and Pinewood. Anyways, guys, drop a comment below. Let me know what you think about all of this in the comments. And if you guys did enjoy the content for today, do make sure to drop a thumbs up on this video to support the channel. I thank you all so very much for the kind support, and I'll catch you guys next time.